Let's have a look on the differences between Easyredmine and the Jira software, especially on the project level settings. In Easyredmine, one project can have a various catalogs. Catalogs means like a task type, statuses, custom fields activated on the project level, but values are centralized. What does it mean? For example, one custom field can't have a multiple values on a different project. On the other hand, in a Jira, one project can have a various catalogs too, like a task type statuses custom fields activated, but values can be unique due to the schemas. We will have a look on the schemas. What does it mean in a second? Those are like settings of the templates, let's so called. And in a Jira software, they are distinguishing two types of the project, like a team managed projects. They call it newly like a spaces, which brings even like a full project autonomy. It means that on the project level, you can configure even easily separated like a workflow, or company managed projects, which is, let's say, also more process-wise oriented setup from the admin section, let's so called. But let's have a look on the, let's say, main differences with an architecture. So Easyredmine has a central catalogs, evidence, like a task type, statuses, workflows, etc., in admin section, and those would be activated as a catalogs on the concrete projects. So if you create like a project one, so you can select which task type you are going to use, which custom field, which priority it would be applied, and the same for another project. On the other hand, in the Jira, they do have also centralized catalogs, like a task type, statuses, custom fields. But in between, like a meta layer, they're using the schemas. So for example, for the task type, they do have like a schema called N, which is containing multiple task types. Let's so call it like a template. And that template could be applied for the specific project, right? So once you're creating the project, so then these templates, these schemas could be applied. And these schemas are used for the, let's say, workflow fields, notifications, permissions, yeah, uh, multiple operations. But let's have a look in the Jira itself directly. So we will be discussing mostly about the workflow. So in the Jira, you have a chance to create multiple workflows. So now we are in the admin section. So you can see like here is like a workflow called like this one. It's applicable on the particular project. The project is called in a Jira newly like in a team management like a spaces. So it's applicable on the project called AMS tickets, and then it is containing the workflow schema. So here is the schema, but it's also visible here. So if you hit on the schema itself, so then you are redirecting to the list of the schemas, and then you can hit, for example, here on the one, let's say schema, and we can see the diagram itself for the workflow. So yeah, it could be applied for the multiple projects as a specific setup. So let's imagine that you have the, let's say, templates of the projects, which where this schema could be applied, and in that case, it would perfectly fit. On the other hand, in the Easyredmine, there is a more centralized approach. So in the admin section, there is a like a list of the catalogs, for example, the task type. So it's nothing else than like a simple list. Then we do have like a task statuses, right? Same logic. And then there is a workflow. So if you hit on the workflow, so here is a no schema. So just the list of the roles. So roles are also centralized, and then the particular task type. So let's imagine that I do have a task type which is called like a user story. I will hit on the edit, and then here we can see like a transition schema, like between like a from status to another status. So here in this matrix, you can configure the transition between the statuses, right? And then once you do that, so for example, if you are creating the very new project, so then you can, in a settings of the project, select the particular user story, particular task type, which you're going to use, like this user story. But then you would probably ask like how to apply the different workflow, different transition for the very same, let's say, task type. How to do that? So in that case, for example, one division, one department is using user story for the different workflow, and another department is using different one. How to do that? So in the admin section, there is a trick. So you can create like a user story, like a with a postfix. So this is a popular. So I will put there like a postfix and the name of the department, like a department one. Then we can of course apply it for such a list of the projects. And then afterwards, I can configure the very new workflow for that particular projects. So how to do that? So I can select like a user story department one, edit, and then I will basically configure like a transitions, yeah, between the statuses, right? And then afterwards, I can hit the save. And then once I will be creating the new project, so I can select that I won't be using the user story, which was for another department, but I will use the ones what we have created, let's so called as a schema. So it's like an alternative next to the schema. So it's like another task type, but it's with a postfix created just for your type of the project.